If you were to tell me that worse circumstances equal an emotional outcome, then you have billions of people that I personally know in this world who don't believe that. And I speak of my people in Africa that from the outside world could be deemed or qualified as the worst circumstances, but they're happier than every other person. If joy was only found in circumstances, then by that definition, you would have a lot of unhappy people. But I know a lot of people that have terrible circumstances, but have joy.
Another day, another episode, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, this is our fourth episode.
Yeah.
We got Brayden Black. So it's a real pleasure to have you here.
Dude, I'm blessed to be here with Britton and Derek. This is so good.
Awesome. If you want to just give us a little background about yourself, like who are you?
Brayden is a son of God who's trying to do a lot of good with the youth and young adult, this rising generation. So I'm from Pleasant Grove, born and raised, born of goodly parents, tried to raise me right, served a mission in South Africa, got back this summer will be 3 years. And ever since then, it's led me down different career paths of being a seminary teacher and an FSY counselor and an HXP trip leader and a coach. And that's kind of the trajectory that I'm off right now. It's just how do I help the youth and young adults to feel and embrace God's love for them, know who they are, but also develop intimate, deep connections with others, because that's a huge struggle that the youth have, and young adults especially as well. And they're all things that I've struggled with. So that's kind of my mission, my goal right now. How can we bless up this rising generation?
That's so amazing, dude. And I think it's so cool that, like, you said, you said something really quick, really short there, like something you've struggled with there.
Mm-hmm.
What is a moment where you felt like you were lost and you were found?
So many, but I'm gonna be actually pretty vulnerable. I'll be pretty fresh because this one's only a couple days old, and I know Derek knows part of this story, and this is a part of my story that I think I'm gonna be telling about the rest of my life. This is what's transpired over the last 2 days. So on Monday, it was one of those days where you could metaphorically say like the world came crashing down, and I don't feel like I've ever had one of those days before. People will talk about it and they'll say like, yeah, my world came crashing down. I was like, what does that mean, bro? But Monday, I think I had my first taste of what that means. And so to give a little bit of context, but not sharing, overly too much, I had spent a lot of money into this business, this startup for coaching, because that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm super passionate about. And through a series of events and things that have transpired, and a lot of it, I do give credit and responsibility to myself, and I'm not going to play victim. Like, I was a key factor in why that money was lost. And so I'm like in this whirl on Monday. Recognizing now, like, I've lost all this money. I was trying to fly before I could run, and I wasn't specific enough with where things were going. And I felt so confused. I lost my scholarship at BYU because I was putting all my time into this startup in school. Just like naturally was not a plate that was spinning anymore. And so I lost that. With my little bro coming back from the mission in a couple months, I'm gonna have to look into getting a new car soon if it doesn't break down before then. So there's just all these things that like started accruing, and I remember getting off of a call. This was before you called me, and I was on my knees, and I was just like on this like crusty little couch in my apartment, and I was like, God, I don't know what to do. I feel so lost, and just like, where are we going? Because I don't know. I have no idea what to do. I've seemingly tried everything and it hasn't worked yet, but like I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know what kind of chapter of the storybook we're writing, so like if I just need some help. And through a series of events and a couple calls with people, one of those people being the man I sit across this couch right now, Derek, called me, and And you know, like those coach pep talks they give you like in the locker room when they're like losing by like X amount of points, and the coach is just like not yelling,
Yeah.
but just like with passion.
Yeah. Like, you think you're down, you gotta yell it.
Yeah, like,
Like-
that's exactly what Derek did to me. No,
Yeah.
he was extreme. It was so, there was so much love and there was so much passion and care. And we were talking about coaching, why I was feeling so lost and what I was kind of going to do with this trajectory that I had no idea what I was going to do. And that was one of the first answers to my prayers that day. It's like somebody else sees something, and I know that God speaks to me through other people. And Derek was one of them that day, because I think God speaks to me through people, because I'll be honest, I think a lot of the times I'm too stubborn enough to listen to him. And so he'll tell it to me through people that he knows I look up to and trust and have a good connection and relationship with. And there were so many other things that helped me through that day of feeling lost. And I still, even now, like I'm just putting 2 feet forward, and I still don't know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to all transpire. But I remember that day feeling, to an effect, the scripture that says, that peace that surpasseth all understanding. I didn't know how I could feel so lost in a moment, but yet at one time still feel like it was going to work. I don't think I've ever simultaneously felt or experienced the two at the same time. But I felt like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And God's like, I got you. I'll give you a couple of people just to let you know and make sure you remember, like, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to work. It's worked before. You may feel lost for a season, but you're going to find it. You're going to be found.
You know, I don't know. This isn't a fully developed thought, but I was just thinking about how it's interesting how sometimes it's necessary that we do feel lost so that we do go to find him. And I think it's interesting, like, isn't it interesting that I'm not just like so jacked out of the womb and just like totally like everything, and I make so much money and I'm like perfect. Like, it goes back to that ether scripture, 12:27. That's what I'm thinking of right now. But you know, I'm thinking of like why we're given weak things or given hardships, and so that we can be strong in him. But I'd love to ask you, so some people go bitter in these moments.
Yeah.
And it's probably way easier to be bitter.
Totally.
So I've asked this before, but I'm curious, like, when you choose to look at this, you're seeing this in a way where you're like, hey, I see this for what this is, and I know that Jesus is here, but what made you like decide to not be bitter in this circumstance?
I've chosen to be bitter before. I think we've all chosen to be bitter before, and it doesn't feel good. I think it makes you feel justified. I think you totally feel justified. I think it's completely normal. But if I have control over my feelings, then I want to feel good. I don't want to feel miserable. But yet we like sitting in miserable because we feel justified. And to be honest, maybe in this past year, there have been more circumstances that could have made me bitter. Coaching has honestly done so much for me. I mean, it's just like a missionary. Like, we know the missionaries are there to teach people, but it teaches the teacher just as much as the hearer. And I feel like it's the same for me with this whole coaching journey I've been on. I can choose to play victim, or I can choose to be a victor. You can choose. The only difference between some circumstance, event, or situation being a trial or a blessing was if you turn to God because of it. There's always more than one way to look at a certain circumstance. You can always choose to play victim and be bitter. But it doesn't get you anywhere. and I got places to go. So if I'm going, I ain't going to be bitter about it. We got to go. And if there are people that I need to help out along the way, I can't do it bitterly.
Mm-hmm.
I am a victor, and I'm a winner because of him, and I will be a winner. I am a winner, and I'm not going to do it with a sour taste in my mouth, because ultimately at the end of the day, I think for me, what makes me bitter is when I forget what I do or don't have. Gratitude. Gratitude is like the biggest turn on switch for me in living a life that feels like a victor and not being bitter. Because to anybody that feels bitter about something, they only see what they lack or what they've lost. And I have a lot in the past 2 days that I could choose to look at and say, I've lost or I lack. Or I can choose to say, look at what I have. You can't simultaneously think about what you don't have, but be grateful at the same time for what you do have. Like, it doesn't work in the brain. You can't do it. So if you can only choose one way to go, then I will try to choose. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But I will choose to be grateful and see what I do have. I'm not going to get evicted. I still have enough money to pay rent. I got awesome friends, a great community, a very blessed platform to be able to go out and do a lot of good. There's still so much good that I have. If I only focus on the bad, I'll only see it, and that's what I'm going to feel.
Mm-hmm.
So gratitude is the most powerful thing for me, I think, in helping me to not be bitter.
Yeah. I think it's like what President Nelson talks about, sorry, I had this thought, with an eternal perspective, right? Having that celestial, thinking celestial.
Yeah.
Is what I was trying to say there.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to know, and I guess a lot of times it's way easier said than done, but it's really cool to know that Heavenly Father already knows like exactly what we need to go through in order to become the exact person he wants us to become, or he needs us to become.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like, it's way better to live life in bad circumstances than, and having that hope and belief and trust in God that it will work out versus, being bitter.
Can I just add on to that really quick?
100%.
You can't, so when we talk about the conversation of like choosing to feel being a victor or a victim, bitter or better, a lot of people will say, because of my circumstances or this thing that happened, like I can't be happy. Like the circumstances in control of them, life is happening to them, not for them mentality. Instead of life happening to them, well, why not me happen to life? Like, I'm going to own this thing. I'm going to beat whatever comes. Because here's the thing. If you were to tell me that worse circumstances equal an emotional outcome of feeling like depleted or bitter or unhappy, then you have billions of people that I personally know in this world who don't believe that. And I speak of my people in Africa, my mission, my home. You have a place that from the outside world could be deemed or qualified as the worst circumstances, the worst situations. But they're happier than every other person who says that I have a terrible circumstance. So there must be something that's flawed if circumstances don't equal emotional states, because they're the happiest people I've ever met. So what's up with that? Because it must not be a circumstance. And if you can't control a circumstance or an outcome, then the only thing that you can control is what you think about it. And those people, man, they get it. They had the worst possible. We've all been around them. but they choose to see what they do have. And man, do I love being around those people, even though they have nothing.
I want to ask you a question. So it's interesting. So the whole purpose of the podcast is to capture moments of where the Good Shepherd finds us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about a current moment, like of being quote unquote lost, right? Without resolution. But I want to ask you, what is your found in that? Like, where is Christ in that? Because how many of us feel like we haven't been found, yet that could very much be our perspective on maybe we are found and we just are not seeing it.
Yeah.
And so how do you, Brayden, know that you're being found and the good shepherd is finding you?
In the relentless pursuit of you,
That's
too.
what I was thinking, yeah. Like, how can I change my focus and say, like, I may not seem like it's a perception thing, right? I can say that I am lost, but am I actually being currently found in the moment? Because when you ask me about moments where I felt lost, it's like I could share moments in the past where I do see a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Or a quote unquote solid concrete piece of evidence that like I was found.
Yeah, it was like the coming of the years and then all of a sudden, boom. But we're not there right now.
Well, I didn't feel like I didn't want to share any of those. So in relentless pursuit right now, and I think this is an amazing perspective for anybody that feels like they are currently in it right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see the end, then what is he doing right now? And I'll tell you what he's doing right now. He's putting me in front of 2 people and many more who have reached out, called, texted, DM'd, people. God works in relentless pursuit of me through people. Hands down. He works in relentless pursuit of me through the Spirit, the Comforter, that he said that he would give to us because he wouldn't always be here, but his Spirit would be. And again, going back to that like peace that surpasses all understanding, like I don't know the end resolution point in this story yet, but what I do have is a feeling. That feeling, the Spirit, is a testimony that he is there. God has been, this is actually really good. I had the thought at the end of that Monday night when the whole world seemed to come crashing down. The thought was when I got into bed, as I was praying and thinking about everything that kind of transpired during the day. And the thought was that there have been angels around you today. Seen and not seen. Who they are not seen, I don't know. But one day I think that I will. And you get back upstairs and you say, do you remember March 2nd? And seeing some people come, you're like, yeah, I remember March 2nd. We were there. You couldn't see us, but we were there. I will be on your right hand and on your left, and my Spirit shall be in your heart, and my angels run about you to bear you up. I believe in that scripture like it's gold, because that's what happened. How do I know he's finding me or is in pursuit of me? Because he sends his angels. I can't see them, at least not all of them, but I believe in them. That's how I know I'm being found.
Yeah, I love that. I love how even like in that not fun circumstance, if we do have that faith, because that's what faith is, it's believing in something that we haven't quite seen yet, but we still know it's true. Whether that's the outcome of your situation or the fact that there are angels here. It's really cool how even through those circumstances, we can focus on joy. Because in the story in Mark 15, when it talks about the lost lamb and the shepherd who went and found it, it talks about joy. Like the shepherd rejoiced and there was joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's cool how we can even have joy in those moments of being pursued and found,
Mm-hmm.
actively found.
Why does President Nelson say that joy is found in not in your circumstances, but in your focus?
Yeah.
Like the man is just like spitting fire about science and how the brain works. Like your outcome is whatever you focus on. It's not the circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
If joy was found in every circumstance, or if joy was only found in circumstances, then by that definition, you would have a lot of unhappy people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of people that have terrible circumstances, but have joy. So again, that can't be true.
Yeah.
Circumstances in the focus.
I want to ask you, so let's call this day 3 of this crazy journey.
Yeah.
I don't know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Day something. It's kind of like it's like that show, The Martian, with I forgot what's his name. Matt Damon.
Yeah.
And he's just like day 5 here on Mars, and he like reports back. Okay, so we got Brayden. It was day 3 on his own Mars.
Yeah.
Right, reporting back. What would you say to day 1, Brayden?
Interesting.
Day 1, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking got hit by a freight train.
Yeah.
You just feel like your whole world's rocked. You're sitting there and you're like, I'm doing everything wrong. And keep in mind, if I'm not mistaken, the freight train was hit as you were in the pursuit of learning more. So you were in the pursuit of learning more, and then people who were good influences brought more information to the table, and you felt like you had to reconstruct, you had to break one rung of the ladder to get to the next rung.
Yeah.
So it was only in the pursuit of doing good that you felt like you got completely railed by this freight train.
Mm-hmm.
Am I?
No, you'd be correct in saying
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. So now Brayden Black, day 3. What do you say to Brayden day 1? It just happened, and you're looking at him and you're like, hey man, and we're Brayden day 1, and we're just wrecked.
Well, I think it's such a good question to ask, because normally I feel like I've only ever heard, and I've never like come up with or had to think about in a day 3 scenario what I would say to day 1. Because usually I feel like it's day 567 I go back and say the day 1.
Yeah.
Because usually by then you've had the found moment, or you can understand a little bit more.
Figured it out a little
So
bit.
like I love this because I'm still in it. But what would I say to day 1, Brayden? You made it to day 3. Or like you will make it to day 3. If you choose to keep walking. Like you can make it a day. I've made it 2 days, so why not another 2? And maybe I would also say, back to day 1, Brayden. Just, to be honest, I don't know if I would say anything. I'd just give him a hug. There may not be actually a lot of words, because I still don't have words to describe the events of that day, or where I'm at now, or the solution. So if I don't have words, I'd probably just give him a good hug. And a hug that could convey something along the lines of, you've got this. Sometimes actions speak more than words. And for a moment where I don't have words, it maybe feels like all I can do. And maybe it's just a good lesson for us all, that when we feel like we don't have words, you don't have to say anything. I think a lot of people come to us with their moments of lost, and we feel like we have to be the one to say something or fix something, or be the one to do the finding. the found experience through words. Maybe it's just actions without words.
While you're talking, I just had the thought, like, imagine if we're in a room and it's tons of different versions of ourselves. Like, imagine a big convention, but it's just like Brayden year 1, Brayden year 2, Brayden year 3, all the way to like millennium, right? Or like resurrected Brayden. And like, that'd be so cool to be like, you know, I wonder how we'd interact with ourselves. I assume our, you know, day million, like I assume that version of Brayden would say thank you to day 1 Brayden on March 2nd for believing still, for still having that faith and that hope that it would work out.
It's an interesting thought. How would we treat ourselves? That own dialogue along the journey is its own. But also, how would we see it? And it goes back to the gratitude that Brayden's talking about. You know, he's like, I'd be grateful for my hardships. I'd be grateful for what I'm going through. I've shared this with a few people recently, but you know, your struggle is equal to your prize. And our Savior knows that more than any of us.
Yeah.
He knows that the prize was worth it, and so was the struggle.
I made a reel yesterday. I saw it on somebody else's and I just copied it because I like doing that. But it said,
Hey, by the way, I did that with one of your reels because it was just cooking. So this,
I can't wait to see it, bro. It did not get nearly as much traction. Eric's like, I'm going to get... You promised to see it.
He's like, I can't wait to see it. He's like, oh, it's been out a bit now for a while.
It has. It's been a week. It never got there. Wait, was it the one of you walking with the... Okay, no, I did see that one. Because I saw you got like 1 million views. I'm like, okay, I got
He's
this.
like, if I can get even a quarter of that.
And I'm like, oh, that'd be sick. And then I got like 400 views. I'm like, freaking epic.
It's a lot of people if you think about it in one room. Like, imagine 400 people.
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
But 1 million's a lot more.
Oh, man.
What were you saying though?
No. There's a reel and it said that don't let Satan turn the thing that you once prayed for into a burden. If I look back and I say, what have I been praying for? Humility, learning experiences, charity. I got all of that on day 1. But Satan could say, turn it into a burden and make you bitter. The thing that you once prayed for. If you want charity, God might let you experience some experiences that are going to test your capacity to love. And you can either take that situation and let it develop more love within you, or leave you at the same state that you were before. If you pray for humility, you might get a lot of experiences that have the capacity to humble you. Those typically aren't the most pleasurable or desirable experiences. So be careful what you wish for. But if you pray for those things, as I did before, I got them. I got them a lot. And boy, when it rains, it pours for me, man. Like it came the floodgates of heaven about an experience to teach me humility. I got it. Now what do you choose to do with it?
You're a coach, Brayden. It made me think you were using that analogy of the experience, the trial that builds the trait. And you're a coach. And one of the greatest experiences, or one of the greatest traits that coaches have, the highest levels of coaches have, is empathy. And empathy comes from pain.
Yeah.
Felt pain.
Yeah.
And so it makes me think about, it's like, what a better coach you'll be as you go through this experience. You know, what a better finder you'll be, because you can find their heart and you can unlock these places. You can find deeper levels of people's pains. You have more doors that you can open now with your empathy, because that empathy key is now just right there for so many more people. So that was just the thought that was cooking in my head.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's hard to empathize with people that you haven't been through certain circumstances or situations with. Like, we can try our best and we can validate, and validation does a lot, and we can be there for a person and maybe not say words, but just actions. But when you've been through a similar shared experience, to be like, yeah, dude, I remember the hurt. I get it. I think that's how Jesus is so good at finding people, because he's been through it. He's felt it. He's really good at finding people because he's been in every place where somebody's been lost. That's how I think he's a really good finder.
Cool. Well, we just wanted to thank you. I mean, this has just been a pleasure, and it is an actual gift to have you here, dude.
Thank you.
It is a gift.
It's been a gift for me. I mean, my mind's been, again, Spirit cooks through other people, and each of you have both said things that have like, wow, yeah, I needed this one today. So
Yeah.
Well, we did too.
thank you.
And other people do as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's an invitation we have for us, and then everyone else is like, in those moments where you feel like you're going through the lost moments in life, look for the gifts that God is trying to give you that you asked for. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look for the gifts.
Yeah.
See the moment. Don't stare at the circumstance, but stare at the pursuit, if you will. The journey.
Yep. Look for the attributes he's trying to teach you in those moments. Yeah.
Well, guys, we love you. It's been a total gift to have my dear friend Brayden Black, our dear friend, Brayden Black, on the podcast. And if you're listening to this, share it. We want to reach and influence as many people as possible to capture moments of where the Good Shepherd is finding us in our lost moments and lostness. Guys, we love you so much. We're grateful for you, and we'll see you guys soon.